Hello, welcome to the Square Base Show with Val Heffelfinger and me, Rob, as we get excited for a 2025 that will blow your socks off. This first episode, we're going to be discussing crime.
We're going to do a crime?
No, we're not going to do a crime. That's important. Crimes have been done, and we're going to discuss the crimes.
Rob, welcome back.
Welcome back, 2025. Welcome back. Maybe this might even be the second video we put up, so maybe there'll be another welcome back that you've already seen. But hello, everyone. Welcome to the old world. Welcome to Square-Based 2025. Looking to be a very exciting year. Definitely, very definitely. You looking forward to it? We should do a things we're looking forward to show as well. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that seems to be all the rage. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
We could do it. We could do a tight 10 after this.
Maybe we could just wait. We can do it a bit later. But yeah, so we are going to catch up with each other. Probably let's catch up with each other in the other show, because I think that'd be fun, because that's what the show's about. But this show is just a tight 10, as we say, because we just want to dive straight in and talk about crime. So over the Christmas period, which is not very Christmassy, not very Christmassy. Depends who you ask. There was. Do you know the full story? Do you think you could regale us with the full story?
I mean, I only know what I thought, like what I was, what I was reading in the tea leaves. So I don't know if you've got a scoop. If we got a Square-Based scoop here.
I don't have a scoop. I got no behind the scenes info.
So I think right around the time where we were delivering our presents, our gifts of the Empire Arcane Journal, roughly a month ahead of the game. By the way, thanks to everyone who watched that video. It was sick. There was someone being like, we can do better than even that. We're going to deliver physical goods. We're going to suddenly start releasing things like, I believe the Imperial Wizard was the Empire Wizards were in that batch.
Yep.
And then some other unreleased minis as well, including High Elf minis that were being procured on from what I came to discover is a trading site that I don't have in Canada, so I'd never heard of before. And then they started popping up on eBay. And then the reactions to it are always my favorite, which is somehow these are fake. Which was really, really funny. But yeah, someone somehow got their hands on a bunch of unreleased illicit miniatures.
It's a rags to riches story, which, being based in Nottingham, we're riches to rags is how we like to live.
Rags to rags.
Yeah, all rags to rags. Rags, but steal from the riches and then go back to rags. Anyway, so yeah, over the course of the Christmas period, someone has purloined a pretty hefty stack of unreleased and released miniatures, including and then has put them for sale online. And obviously, rumors abound about who, where, when, what, why. A lot of people thinking it must be someone working inside the company. Someone thinking it must be someone working in either warehousing, working at the Amazon store. The name on Vinted was giving people all sorts of ammunition to throw mud left, right, and center. So there was a bunch of conspiracies as to who. No one knows. No one knows where this has come from, but there was a bunch of stuff, including this Core Hill Lion Mane miniature.
Hoi! Who's that?
Because after Empire is High Elves, right? That's the next book. High Elves.
The roadmap doth tell us this.
The roadmap doth say a lot of confusing things. It's very confusing.
Well, it basically told us things that we already knew because they'd already been released, which was hilarious. But then, because we were saying it was going to be High Elves, then Empire, that was what we were saying was going to happen. And we were kind of right, but they said they delayed High Elves for some reason. And so they flipped it. So we were right, but now we're wrong. Which is, sometimes we're wrong, then right. Like, time is our enemy. That's what it is.
That's right. So, but yeah, the release of High Elves and a Core Hill Lion Mane mini, which, because obviously with the Arcane Journal for High Elves on the horizon, you know, big question mark, what two kind of armies of infamy are we going to be seeing? And I think arguably the one that makes a lot of sense is to do, now we're seeing Corhill, see a White Lions, a kind of Lions of Trace sort of thing. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. The thing that's kind of messing my brain up is obviously they've hinted very strongly at like a sort of a Lothran Seaguard build, like a Wolves of the Sea style thing, which I would personally be very excited about. We talked about briefly like hobby goals for the year. I think I could get behind doing up some high elves, but the Corhill thing here is a little bit of a I don't know, out of nowhere for me, because I don't know, would this work with sort of a royal court or a cavalry army? I know there's the White Line chariots. There's no real cavalry with the White Lions. So how he fits in is going to be is something I'm curious about. Do we know anything about Corhill himself?
Corhill is
what's his deal?
I don't think we know anything about Corhill Liamane, or maybe I do. Maybe this is a great question. I don't know. It's worth noting that this is a metal figure. Also, as in this kind of drop, as Val looks up what Corhill was about, there was also Sir Cecil Gastonne, the Wyrm Slayer, was also one of the miniatures that was released, not released, stolen, and put out there for sale because people could buy them. And then obviously this gave rise to our release of the Sir Cecil Mini, which we should talk about in a moment. But also someone did purchase, with a very Christmassy Christmas tree in the background, also the new Empire Wizards, which currently I don't think are on sale. Also picked up an Empire Wizard from this same kind of like stolen allotment of things. Lightly lifted. I don't know what the situation is, but yeah. So there's quite a few things. This is probably
lightly lifted.
Lightly lifted.
There's a gentle theft. The
problem is when you underpay your workers, I really struggle to argue against.
I mean, there's a lot of elements in the supply chain. Shout out to Vallejo workers, by the way. They got a deal.
They did get a deal.
Break.
They get
So where do we go? What do we delve into first? The source, I think, is actually really interesting because, well, as a Games Workshop business nerd, the fact that these were up for grabs by someone able to grab them, just puts sort of like how they stage stock in perspective. Also, I feel like the Empire release itself was in the hands of retailers real early as well. So like, when we see a leak, we rarely ever see minis actually leak out first, but usually it's because Games Workshop sends it to an influencer by accident. We've seen that in the past, but we rarely ever see like a bunch of minis actually like either gotten their hands on or whatever. And this was mixed in with a bunch of other SDS stuff too. I believe there were either some Horus Heresy new releases or Legion Imperialis or whatever it was, the epic version of it. So like there's definitely like either a shipment or whatever that got intercepted at some point in the chain. And I don't think it necessarily has to have been at the retail, like at the GW warehouse level. This could have been a truck. This could have been like you said, at the like warehousing somewhere.
Bin divers. We have bin divers around here.
And that would, yes, bin divers for sure. Could be a thing. Although, I mean, because it's all new, hard to believe it would be. But I mean, totally possible.
It's a little like future sci-fi, the job title of, when I grow up, me lord, I hope to be a bin diver. I hope to put my hands on jewels in other people's trash. Anyway, yeah, no, you're right.
Hey,
like,
here in the 51st state, we look forward to prospecting old landfills. Prospecting old landfills for treasures. And who knows?
Well, anyway, so yeah, where do we start? Do you have any info on Corhill?
He's the head of in the modern so in the end times, he is the Phoenix King of the White Lions. And I don't want to have to read this while thinking. I would say one other thing though, Rob.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've seen a special character because he's named. It's not just like a White Lion prince or something like that. It's like he's a named dude, but he's an old mini.
He is an old mini. Yeah, you're right.
And I don't know. Maybe we just haven't. I guess Chaos would have had the opportunity to do that. But we haven't seen this particular approach to it, and because if he's in pewter, everyone else has been sort of a resin for the old world type kind of a thing, whereas Corhiel is existing. Because I know a lot of people were wondering, are we going to see Teclis and folks like that, but this would be sort of more of a minor character, as the High Elves are, I suppose, in this setting. They're not the Ulthuan guys, which is another question. Why would it be Corhiel? Because I assume he's back on the island, not necessarily on one of their outposts.
No, I doubt that. Yeah. I think Corhiel coming back, I think is interesting. I especially like the idea that you can, because I mean, also a little bit of a nod to the Total War crowd, Like, hey, you can start buying, like, maybe, I don't know if, I'm sure Imric will be around then at this time as well. So maybe
they're all around. Like they all live forever for a long time, right? So like, I don't think there's anyone who wouldn't be narratively like in the world that we've met in the end times.
So maybe maybe this is just a nod to get more sales. Maybe it's just a made to order. That's another great shout as well, which is odd because those made to orders are something like a year or something. I don't know. They're a long time. So Corhiel returning, and then we've got the release of Cecil Gastonne, the Warhammer Slayer, as well, and then we have got the full miniature release from Games Workshop here in an article as a response, and they will do this as a response. So what do you think of the mini, like, of Cecil Slayer?
So just on the response bit, Cecil was one of the guys in the first batch of the stolen goods.
Yes.
So Cecil's been spoiled for a long time, and they didn't respond. They actually revealed other guys than Cecil. They've been actually on working through these special characters. Maybe we'll see Kiknik. But yeah, so I found that interesting. They actually didn't really respond to this leak at all. I think from sort of like, especially the Corhiel stuff, right? Like if that was really a spoiler, then normally that's where they jump on it, right? But they chosen not to. Maybe SDS is just more chill, I guess. As for Cecil, I think this guy compares so fascinatingly with all of the people who are like, especially with Hans, the Foot Empire character that we saw revealed. With his big armor, and he looks like World of Warcraft, all that kind of stuff. With the Bretonnians, we're seeing a much more of a historical look. I'd say your proportions on this guy are much more real world than we saw with the more fantastical wizards and Hands in Empire. So I do like that they have contrasting styles between two human factions. That's pretty cool to me.
I do think. I think the differentiation between the two is very cool. The stylistic choices, I agree with, and also I just think it's kick-ass. I think it's obviously highly detailed, but a little bit of a painter's delight there, which is what I would say. Forge World, SDS, do not shy away from over ostentatious miniatures. Like, they're like, this is where you go to now for the ostentatious miniature, I would say. They're like, we're going to give you all the bells and whistles, go and have a great time. And I think people are going to delight in painting this. Obviously, very much doubt he'll see much adventure on the tabletop. Maybe, but probably not, seeing as he hasn't made much of an impact to date.
Yeah, I don't think I think in sort of comments around when this reveal happened, I saw a lot of, hey, has anyone actually even tried running this guy? And the answer is no, absolutely not.
No.
He would go really well, as they recommend in a Knights of the Realm on Foot unit, which unfortunately suffers from being Knights of the Realm on Foot. So I think at most you probably might see this guy, and I don't know if he can go in maybe some yeomans or or something like that.
I saw a unit of 40 Knights of the Realm on foot the other day at an event, but more on that later.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, 40.
Well, that's sweet.
Yeah, he wasn't in it,
though. But I do recall, I don't know, I can't recall anything. I don't know if you've noticed in our comments, every single time we do a video, there's someone out there, or maybe some people out there saying, where is the Bretonia deep dive? And in my head, I always think to myself, yeah, good point. We probably should have done that. They came out first. And then I move on with my life. I don't know why I don't have any interest in it, but maybe we're getting to be about time and we can dive into this.
I think once we see all the new missions and everything else that might happen this January, I think that'll give us a good context for revisiting all of the armies for some deep dives. I think that'll be a really healthy roadmap of stuff. I'm excited about this mini and all of the minis. Actually, you're looking at this mini and then looking down the side of Warcom, I'm just kind of blown away by all of these kits that I can see on the side roster. Now, obviously, and this is definitely a conversation for the other videos we're going to make. This being a great mini, but its validity on the tabletop being very questionable, is a little bit of a shame when it seems almost every mini that they're releasing seems to be a mini that you won't see play, would be disappointing in your games, probably tactically. However, it's great to see us getting more and more kits, and again gets me excited for what we might be seeing for the rest of the year. But I think the big headline is crime.
Definite crime. And someone pulling fell off the back of a truck. That feels like a potential thing. Or maybe there's maybe a Warhammer truck got knocked over. Maybe there was a tractor trailer en route to destination that didn't make it all the way, and then I don't think it's very bass to say pikeys, but I did watch Snatch 10,000 times, so maybe the Roma of the United Kingdom have gotten themselves a load of Warhammer miniatures and had to Google them and said to themselves, you know what? There's something here. We can sell these on a very obscure trading site in the UK and make some bucks. My problem is that outside of, you generally don't get large trucks of electronics driving through cities. It's not very common, at least. But I have this almost kind of Mad Max style run now in my head, because obviously I worked at Games Workshop, I visit Warhammer World all the time. I know exactly where the manufacturing and the initial storage hub is in GW. So now I picture that truck heading out and in a kind of Furiosa kind of loading up, running the gauntlet down Lenton as it's getting grenades chucked at it, and they're trying to steal what at this stage a truck of Warhammer is an incredibly expensive truck. Certainly one of the most valuable, if not the most valuable export the United Kingdom has at this point, is a truck full of Warhammer. So, I can definitely see this as having been perhaps a higher tier of crime than maybe even we are willing to consider yet. Maybe the illicit dealings of Warhammer goods is coming. Maybe, listen, definitely people watching, there's going to be someone watching this who's like, I do math a lot, Rob. There's the hashtag, they did the math Reddit. Listen, give me a general, how much money is in a truck of Warhammer? In the comments below. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. What's a truck worth? Because and it's just like drugs. Are we talking street price here? we're talking wholesale. Street price. I actually was impressed at the restraint shown on the pricing for this stuff. Yeah, was actually really normal, pretty much just retail. Yeah, I like that the stolen good of the pre-release minis. Still, they were like, well, I don't know, this feels pretty pricey. I like that the thief didn't have the audacity to be like I'm not charging Games Workshop prices. I'll just charge a little bit less, because those guys are the real thieves. Yeah, yeah. No, we don't want to look like criminals. Anyway, in the comments below,
Let us know what you think about all the new minis, because that's an exciting thing to talk about. Let us know what you think of the crimes, and also like a kind of like, obviously, I mean, I'm sure people will have a lot of thoughts about us, like joking about a bit of theft, but like whatever. Like, it was a jovial, adventurous start to 2025, I would say.
I would say. I also want to know if like they put like how many people from Games Workshop attempted to purchase these things, and what kind of clever disguises they may or may not have worn when going to buy them. Like, I bet it'd be great if they had like a meetup option on this site, and like it's like, Gerald?
Well, Scarperin. The very best thing it could possibly be is a member of staff who stole it, sold it, used his money to then buy Warhammer from the store. Yeah, 50%.
Just goes right back in.
Thanks for listening to the Square Base Show. See you all soon. Goodbye.